Hello everyone, I'm Keong, the CEO and founder of IGL Coatings, and with me here today is Eamon, our distributor from Australia and also the project manager for the online training course. We're doing this pre-recorded session again because first of all, I would like to apologize about our last launch video. We did live and there were some technical errors where we couldn't hear each other, and there were a lot of questions they want to go through and sharing, but we couldn't do it. So now we're doing it here again right now so that we can actually go through all these questions and let you know more about the online training course. So over the last 10 years, we have grown so much. We are in almost to 50 countries with almost around 5,000 plus installers globally, and this is not even including the DIY guys that actually, all girls that are actually using the products. And from here, we see an opportunity where we can actually improve our quality commitment to all our users. We have done everything that we can in our HQ through our manufacturing process, our R&D process, our QC process, and also training with our distributors. But from there, we want to do more. And we see an opportunity where we can actually drive more towards training and actually training all the users on how they actually do better. We started a pilot in Australia, and we did a bit of tweaks with Eamon, and we launched it recently. And we know that there were quite a fair bit of questions that was asked actually. And so first thing first, I will actually pass on to Eamon so that he can actually do a little bit of introduction about the online training course. And on to you, Eamon.
Thank you, Keong, and hi everybody. So as Keong mentioned, a little bit over a year ago, we launched the IGL Coatings Online Academy in Australia. And what it is, it's a knowledge hub. It's an online knowledge hub that tries to support customers, applicators, and anybody who's really interested in the industry in understanding not only how to use IGL's products, but also understand the entire process, understand what goes on behind the scenes, understand how products are made and validated, and also, and most importantly, really understand the whole process. Because as you would know, and as everybody who's in the application and coatings world would know, there is a lot of information online, but very rarely do the manufacturers get involved. So that's basically the core of the online training academy, is to share knowledge, whether it's for certification purposes, training purposes, or even just evaluation before using a product. Is this product the right for me? So that was the initial plan for the online training course, which as you have mentioned, Keong, there was lots of tweaks and lots of growth and lots of questions that came out of the last video we launched, which we'd love to go through, as it'll probably answer a lot of people's curiosities.
Nice. Thanks for the introduction. So, let me ask a few questions. I think the first one, right, was actually more like, what are the challenges did you face in delivering the training? What I meant is that offline, face-to-face training in Australia, and how you actually use it to grow.
Of course. So with Australia, like all the other countries that distribute IGL, we focus heavily on quality. Now, as you mentioned at the start of this video, Keong, you have control of what the factory does, how the product is manufactured, how the product is sourced, the raw ingredients, how the product is shipped, and you also have control of what you communicate with the distributors like myself. The problem is, how does a distributor like myself then pass on this knowledge and information so the customer, whether it is the applicator as a certified applicator or the owner of a car, for example, or a boat or a bike or whatever it is, how can they be educated and equipped with the knowledge and information they need to apply the product correctly so they can get the desired result? Now, Australia is not only the world's largest island, it's a continent, and we have less than 30 million people, and it's the size of basically USA. So it is very expensive and very difficult for myself to fly out and train everybody that needs to be trained. And at the same time, and with the current economy, it's also very hard and expensive for a business owner to travel to where I am to get this training. So that was a very big challenge we had to overcome, instead of just selling the product and saying to them, here's a link to the application instructions that are written on a box or a YouTube video. So that was the first one. The second one is, over the last 7 or 8 years of distributing IGL in Australia, I noticed a trend in frequently asked questions, in things that people always need refreshments on. And with the, I guess, the hunger for knowledge and information at your fingertips, currently in modern society, people don't want to wait 1, 2, 3, 4 days to get an answer. They might be coating a car now and they need to know a specific answer to a question they have. So the Online Training Academy was also driven by the need to provide people a way of getting the answer to a question they have immediately, even if it's at 3 a.m. on a Sunday while they're on a boat or an airplane. As long as they have access to the internet, they have access to knowledge, almost like a textbook that you can refer to. So those were the challenges we had in Australia, and how do you pass on that knowledge instead of flying from one side to another side? And Australia is very expensive and very big. But yeah, those were the challenges that we had.
Wow. I think it makes sense because most of the business owners, right, they are in the business themselves, if I'm not mistaken, for Australia, and for them to take time to travel for the training, right, it's not just the travel cost, it's also the opportunity cost that they have to think about. So you had it really spot on in this whole situation. And
it's very costly. Yeah. Very costly.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. So, okay, I think you mentioned a little bit about the opportunities of like what IGL can provide to this unique training experience in terms of for them to have they're able to just at any time that they want to just go in and like a textbook. Is there anything other opportunities that you would like to elaborate on regarding the online training course?
Of course. So with IGL Codings, and I think it's unique to IGL Codings, it was a very big eye-opener for me when I flew to Malaysia and I did my first factory tour. And I have been to the factory 3 times now. Every single time I visit the factory, I learn something new that is genuinely surprising. Whether it is a process like, you guys measure the weight of the glass bottles to make sure that they're strong enough if they fall down to meet a spec, all the way through testing equipment and things like that. So by creating a course that is always evolving, that's always fresh, that is always being added to, we can share information from IGL all over the world to give somebody the expert advice and knowledge that they need right from the source, whether it's from IGL HQ showing us how IGL Aegis is measured for curing time using specialized machines, all the way through to possibly a specialized applicator in another part of the world that can help train guys or girls in Australia and using the same techniques and vice versa. So the opportunity is basically the IGL family and the fact that IGL controls the entire supply chain from the point of research and development all the way through to the point of application. So it is a very unique process in terms of the opportunities. And further to that, Keong, it's not just about the product, but there are plenty of business tutorials in there. As a distributor, most of the questions I get asked are not about the product. It's actually about how do I advertise, how do I deal with this difficult customer, how do I run a special, how do I increase my sales. It is a lot of business support as opposed to just telling somebody how long do you leave a coating on before buffing it off the paint. So the Online Training Academy is actually comprised of different sections. There are sections about the science behind the scenes of the factory, as if you were there in Malaysia, in IGL head office, to learn about how products are made, developed, tested, validated, everything. Then you have a lot of business tutorials about how do you set up packages and bundles, enter new markets. How do you go from being a car detailer to somebody who does coatings, to somebody who does industrial coatings and home coatings? How do you package things? How do you deal with difficult customers? How do you sell the product? If you're watching this video, chances are you're interested in some way, shape or form about coatings, and you would know how many brands are out there. How do you sell IGL versus the competition? What makes it different? All of these tutorials are actually included in the online training course, and they were part of the pilot. And these tutorials are forever growing. That's the beauty of the platform that has been piloted and developed for IGL Coatings is that it can be continuously added to as we see a need or a demand in the market, or as we have feedback from the viewers and the subscribers of the Online Training Academy.
Oh, nice. So, a quick recap on that. We have, for ours, in the structure of the online training course, it's like we will have the introduction of what's going on, the backdrop, the science and technical part from IGL HQ itself, so that people can immerse themselves in the factory environment. Then you don't just have the product on how to use it. We also have the business aspect of it, teaching them how to sell and also to upsell, and on how to actually to deal with problem. So nice. That's like kind of like the whole structure of the online training course available. And I'm pretty sure that the content will be refreshed and it will be added on a regular basis, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just an endless sea of possibilities.
Cool. So I think over the past 1 year, as we run the pilot with the users, the subscribers who actually subscribe to the online training course, can you share some of the feedback they received from the students who have attended the course, and if it has made any noticeable change to their business?
Of course. I'm going to give feedback in a few different perspectives, because the subscribers to the Online Training Academy are going to be distributors, users of IGL, and also end customers. I have a lot of friends and customers of IGL that are not certified applicators, but they joined the Online Training Academy to educate themselves. So in the way of feedback from a distributor, what I have noticed since piloting this program is the quality of applicators that we have had has considerably increased, because what happens is when you ask somebody to join a course, to learn something, they're not investing that small subscription fee only. They're investing time in watching the tutorials. And that generally weeds out the people who are not serious about becoming certified, for example. So that's the first thing I noticed, is the quality of applicators has considerably increased. It brings in people who are serious. What I've also noticed is a considerable reduction in frequently asked questions. My favorite question is, can I apply top coat over base coat for Kenzo, below 2 hours? Or what happens if I apply it the next day? There's a lot of questions that always get asked repeatedly. It has greatly reduced that, because you're answering the questions for the applicator before they ask the question. They watch the tutorial goes through frequently asked questions, they know what they're going to expect before they use the product. And if they need to then go back and reference as to why they need to wait a specific time, or what 10H means or ISO quality certification means, they can. What I also noticed is that my applicators in Australia, and this training course is actually compulsory in Australia as part of certification, that's how good it is. They have all expanded their offerings, where you normally have an applicator that will only do car coatings. After they watch the online training course, because it does give you automotive, marine, industrial, even healthcare, and quite a lot of different tutorials about everything IGL does, they expand their horizon. They find new markets to go to. So instead of just ordering the car coating plus a wheel coating, we're seeing them actually get into Eclipse, get into wood coatings and industrial and all kinds of things, because it just opens up your mind to how you can make more money and be more competitive. So that's feedback from a distributor perspective. Feedback from a customer perspective is immense. Like I mentioned, it is part of our compulsory training in Australia, so the feedback has been absolute enjoyment and appreciation for the content from people who are absolute beginners in detailing and coatings that have joined and learned everything from scratch, right through to the most experienced applicators and detailers that already know how to ceramic coat. They already have successful businesses. They already do everything really well, but it just gives them that little bit of top up about ideas that they might not have noticed. It gives them tips and hints on how to do things better, or a new perspective, and just general, I guess, improvement of their general knowledge about the industry. So the feedback has been fantastic from every single aspect, right through to the end user, where it might be, we have a gentleman called Trent in Toowoomba. It's a country town in Queensland. He's not an applicator, he is an IGL advocate, a long-term IGL customer that's had his vehicles coded in IGL. He joined that training course to learn about IGL. He's that kind of guy who, whenever we have some marketing material, a new brochure, a new keychain, he wants me to send him something. And he's joined just to learn about the company because he loves the company. So it is really valuable for everybody, whether you're a distributor, whether you are an applicator, whether you are a new beginner, or even just an end user who is evaluating which coating is best for your car so you don't lose your money on something that is not validated. That's the summarized version of the feedback, but we have quite a lot of testimonials.
Wow. Okay, that's good. And this is why, right, the pilot is such a success, and we decided to actually okay, this ready now, we are letting it go on to the global, and we can actually benefit a lot more people from there. So now we know about the feedback and how it actually helped the installers or anyone actually who are using the product. So can you tell us more about joining the online training, like the subscription model, who is it for, and why, why is the monthly subscription was actually chosen? Tell us more about it.
So thank you, Keong, and yes, we had amazing feedback. With the subscription model, we chose a subscription model because we prefer to have a low monthly fee for education and online training, as opposed to a single one-off fee like the in-person training. And from that, it will give people the opportunity to subscribe and resubscribe and unsubscribe, no different to any other subscription service, whether it's Canva, Netflix, whatever it is, as they see more and more content coming. Now, we have a different mix of people online at the moment. We have people that subscribe and resubscribe every X amount of months as more content is released. We also have people that stay subscribed because they love referencing back to the online training course and giving access to their staff. As you can imagine, if you have a shop with 10 staff members or a shop that's turning over staff regularly, training them becomes very difficult. It becomes very repetitive and laborious. So by having a subscription model, whenever you have a new staff member come on board, you can subscribe, give them their username and password, and they will have all the information and the same quality of training as your previous staff members. So that's why we chose the subscription model. A question that I do get asked is, why is there a fee? Why is it a subscription that you have to pay for? This course is actually not funded by anybody but the subscribers themselves. So the funds that are used from the subscription go back to creating more content, editing more content, giving more and more feedback. And as you can appreciate, if you are an expert in a subject around the world and IGL comes up to you and says to you, "Hi, Bob, we want you to help us make an amazing tutorial about how to code airplanes." Your time is not for free. And we appreciate and expect, we expect you to get compensated for your time. And that's why we have the subscription fees, is to reward those content creators and editors and photographers and videographers and pay them their wage. And that way we can create more and more content and allow the course to grow and develop. So I hope that kind of answers that reason for the subscription. We do have the choice of making it a yearly fee, and we do have the choice of tweaking it like that. But from my experience, we have found the low-cost monthly subscription to be the best, because you can jump in and out whenever you like, as opposed to committing for a long period of time, and you might not need to learn about home coatings until 6 months later, kind of thing. So that's why. But look, we're a company that develops based on feedback, Keong, no different to products. So as this course matures and ages, there will be tweaks, there will be specials, there will be all kinds of things we'll be doing to motivate and assist students to subscribe.
Wow, nice. There is one thing I missed out. I think this online training course, right, is not just limited to IGL users alone, because of how we teach you regarding the business aspect, how to actually upsell. It's actually open to everyone. Any brand can actually just subscribe to this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everybody and anybody can join. We welcome installers of all brands to join, because what we're going to be sharing with you will benefit the whole industry. It's not for the purpose just of selling IGL. It's for the purpose of improving the professionalism of the whole industry, to explain to people, well, how is a coating validated for durability? That was our last tutorial that we uploaded, Kyung. And that's something that'll benefit anybody from any brand, or even if just a customer that wants to do their due diligence before getting an asset coated. But you're 100% right. It is everybody's welcome, not just iGel installers.
So, Eamon, how does this online training course, right, will complement the face-to-face, in-person training? Because it's not like a total replacement of it, right? So would you like to elaborate more of it?
Of course. Nothing will ever replace the quality of in-person training. At the same time, in-person training will never be able to replace the amount of knowledge and the hours and the convenience of this online course. So the best way to explain to people is they complement each other completely. Think about the online training course as a textbook where you can reference to it whenever you like. It has a lot of pages, and sometimes you don't need all the pages. Sometimes you need to just find that one page that answers your question and it gives you the broad knowledge you need. But the in-person training will give you another level of confidence and hands-on experience. So I strongly recommend that if you have access to in-person training, definitely do the in-person training. And everybody does have access to the online training academy, so definitely do it, because what will happen is one will motivate you to do the other, and one will fill in the gaps that the other will not provide you. So that's the best way to explain it, is they're actually designed to work together as opposed to replace each other. Even in Australia, and I'm happy to share it in this video, we are working towards implementing physical training. But because of the distances, we're still going to be relying heavily on the online course and supplementing it with the physical training. This might or might not be the case in your country, but they do work together.
Okay, so as the project manager, maybe you want to share with us about the future of the online training course and where we'd like to see this project in the future.
Absolutely, it'll be my pleasure. For the subscribers of the current course, you will see that a lot of the content is me recording it. And that was because Australia was the pilot. I would like the future of this course to be a global knowledge hub. I would like to see the experts of their fields contribute and join this online academy. And I really wanted to see globalized. I'd love to see, showcase just how diverse iGel is, whether you're in Japan, America, Australia, wherever in the world. I want to see that. I also want to see more tutorials that are not just about the product. I love the science behind it. It helps me sell iGel easily when I explain to customers the science. Perfect example is this morning we had a luxury yacht building company call me, and I sent them the link for the online course and I said, go to the Science Hub. You're going to see why you should pick iGel. Information like that, it's nothing about applying the product, it's the science. I grew up love watching documentaries, and I want to see it grow and grow. So that's the future of the course. If you are an expert that uses iGel and you have something you want to contribute and share with us in any field that is related to iGel, I would love to hear from you. You can reach out eamon@igelcoatings.com.au or reach out through your local distributor or your local iGel sales representative. That's where I want to see this course heading.
Cool. So I think we have covered all the questions that we'd like to ask, and the question that some of the users have asked previously. I think is the important part right now, right, where we actually share if we have any launch special for the launch of the online training course.
Absolutely. So users of iGel coatings, you should really pay attention to what you find inside of your box of coatings or products. The team at iGel head office have been sneakily putting in some coupon codes to various values that you can redeem for subscription discounts and free subscriptions. So that is something that is, I motivate everybody to keep an eye out on, and don't just throw that piece of paper because it might be worth a few $100s US. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we want to promote the education. We want people to learn. So I will be working with IGL marketing team to have some little teasers and Easter eggs within the snippets of these courses, and we're going to be throwing out challenges, and the winners of those challenges that are going to be sporadic, not a one-off, they're going to be given coupons as well to use towards funding their online training, because we really want to share that love and knowledge, and we don't mind at all having you join us.
Nice. Thank you everyone for watching this video. And I hope you learn a lot more about the online training course. And if you do have more questions, right, you can always reach out to Eamon or to IGL Coatings directly. Otherwise, you can also just go directly to our link at edu.iglcoatings.com to learn more about it. So hoping to see you guys to subscribe to the online training course to actually to improve yourself or to learn more about IGL or even more about the business in general. Thank you everyone for watching this.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, Kian.
Yeah. Thank you.